Hi guys, my name is Eugenia. I'm technical recruiter and sourcing trainer. Originally from Belarus, but I'm living in Turkey in Antalya for the last 2.5 years. I'm being a technical recruiter for 6 years, working on worldwide market, mostly USA and EMEA positions. Last 2.5 years, I was working for USA startup based in Silicon Valley, but in November 2022, I was laid off and started my career as a recruitment mentor and sourcing trainer. To be clear, I already was teaching people for 4 years, but last months I'm being fully dedicated to it and I'm really love it. And the purpose of this video is to speak with you and to show you ChatGPT. Now everyone is speaking about it, and I was actually ignoring this topic because, even for my 6 years of career, I've already seen a lot of marketing tools, tools with great marketing and promotion, which were not as good as everyone speaks. So I was not really interested in it until I saw in Instagram stories one recruiter speaking that ChatGPT is really great to create Boolean strings, etc., etc. And I was pretty sure that it's impossible to be as good as real recruiter, because I do believe that recruitment and sourcing is a profession which require real people, which require your brain and your ability to think. But I want to check it, and I did it. And as I thought, I was not impressed by ChatGPT at all. But I want to show you in order you can make your own conclusion and understand when you can use ChatGPT as a recruiter and when you cannot use it. I would say that the main problem with artificial intelligence products, that if you are not an expert in this area, you don't understand if they give you any correct answers or not. So here you really need someone who can evaluate them. And of course, we are speaking just about recruitment. I have no idea how it's working in other areas. Maybe it can be useful for other specialists, but for recruiters, mostly not. So let me show you why I'm so skeptical about ChatGPT. Let me share my screen first of all. Now you can see it. So I've already made a conversation with it, and I cannot say that I really enjoy it. Let me start from scratch. So the most concerning thing for me was the fact that someone speaks that this system, this artificial intelligence can create Boolean search, because now it's 2023 and even Google still cannot create search engine which will work fully correctly. And I believe every recruiter knows that search engines are not great, and you have a lot of problems when you're working with them. So if there's no any ideal search engine, why we are speaking about artificial intelligence? Let's first figure out what we are doing with search engine, why it's so bad, why it's so broken. But let's see what ChatGPT did. First of all, it was really difficult to get inside of it. I mean, to get access to the platform, because a lot of times I was getting notifications that it's overloaded. And my question is, if you create so great advertisement and marketing and promotions, why you don't scale your system? Maybe it's also marketing approach to make it difficult to reach out. Anyway, it was annoying, and if I was a recruiter who needs search query, I didn't really have much time to wait half of the day when it starts to work. But okay, it's not the biggest issue. Maybe they will scale it and it will work better, but not now. So let's see what exactly ChatGPT did for me. In the first attempt, I asked ChatGPT create a Boolean search for embedded Android engineer. And let's check what is not correct with it. If we are looking in LinkedIn or we are looking in Google, we don't use and. You know, it's not like a huge mistake, of course, but we don't use and we cannot just use this string. It should be linked to any site, like for example, to use X-ray search or something like this. What I liked about it that ChatGPT actually explained what it means, like embedded, firmware, Android, etc., but we already see two mistakes. First, operator and, which is not needed here, and second, what is really important and what only maybe like human brain understands, embedded Android engineer can be also embedded Android developer. So when we write such string, we will actually do at least something like this. Yeah, or even programmer. Now it looks like including more relevant options than before. So of course, this string is not, and yeah, just to be clear, of course, we need to delete end. So yeah, this string is not like fully incorrect. It's better than something what I've seen from artificial intelligence a couple of years ago, but it's still not correct. And the problem with it that if you're a recruiter or sourcer who don't know how to build Boolean search and you need someone to help, when you use ChatGPT, you will not understand that it's actually not correct search. But if you an expert in Boolean search, in that case, why do you need ChatGPT? So it's a question, who will use it? Secondly, I decided to clarify that I actually need working string. I mean something what I can use for actual search, and it should be LinkedIn, for example. Yeah, X-ray search on LinkedIn, and I say, please create embedded Android engineer to search on LinkedIn. But I was copy pasting this part, and I didn't notice job listings part. So ChatGPT created a string for jobs, which actually confused me. But again, we can see and a lack of developer. So I was trying to clarify what I want already. It took a lot of time. For this time, I could already create my own Boolean search and start the search. But I write, please create a Boolean search to find embedded Android engineer on LinkedIn. Now, I hope it's like pretty clear. And what we see incorrect Boolean search. Let me explain you why this Boolean search is incorrect. There are really a lot of mistakes. First of all, if we use operator, which we need for title, we use in title, not just title. Secondly, if we use in title, we need to put it separately to each word. So it will look not like this, and it's actually a common mistake. It will be entitled to every word, but not really a lot of candidates write their title like this. Let me actually show you. For example, we are looking for candidates on LinkedIn. Let's use just all location. So we can see really a few results. Why it happens? Because we wrote this title in very narrow way. The best what we can do here is to change it to embedded, no parentheses, just embedded in title Android and Untitled Engineer or Untitled Developer. So now we are looking for embedded Android engineer or developer, and these words can be in different place of title. Let me show you what I mean. Here is it. So what we can see now, different way of written this title. For example, here it's Android embedded engineer, but here it's embedded Android engineer. And if we use it like this, we do exclude the person who write it in another way, like Android embedded engineer. So our purpose and our goal of building search query is to include as much as possible results, and this query which artificial intelligence offer us, we cannot do anything. This query is totally incorrect. But again, if you are not an expert in Boolean search and you come here to actually become an expert, you cannot do it with this GPT. You will even don't understand what's the problem here. So after I got this result, I decided to be more specific and to explain that I want actually like X-ray on LinkedIn. And I asked how to search on LinkedIn via Google. And what I get just like very simple instruction, which you can actually Google if you don't know. And the question is, if I can Google it, why do I need artificial intelligence? So I use another attempt, already spending a lot of time for it, but still I ask how to search on LinkedIn for candidates via Google. And now I received at least a little bit relevant answer, because it finally speaks me, it shows me that I need to use X-ray search with in. And then Android or embedded and engineer. And again, here is the mistake, because we can add engineer or developer or programmer and parentheses. And we don't really need this slash. So now it's much better. But of course, we need to add location, for instance, Poland, and now we will get much better results than what ChatGPT shows. So of course, this search is not very bad. We will get results, but we will get only results with engineer word. All people who say that they're developers, not engineers, will, I mean, anywhere in profile, yeah, because it's keyword, will not be included. So for instance, you can split this search, like for two searches. In one, you search with engineer. In another search, you do it with developer. But you need to understand. And if you know this difference, I don't think you cannot to write Android or embedded on your own. And if you can, it's a question, why do you actually need GPT? And also, please note that Android or embedded actually not correct. That's what I forgot to mention, because we are looking for Android and embedded engineer. So again, this search query is incorrect. You need to fully change it. The only one useful thing you get from it, you finally understand how to search on LinkedIn. But I do believe, again, you can Google it. So still don't understand why you need a GPT for Boolean search. So after this, I decided to try another option. I asked help me to create pitching message for Java engineer. The good point, artificial intelligence understood my request with typo. It understood that I mean message, and then it wrote a message. I cannot say that it's a bad message, actually. It's a good. Subject, experienced Java engineer with a track record of delivering high quality solutions, blah, blah, blah. But then we see that he actually didn't understand me correctly. He's writing like, dear hiring manager, so he's writing to express interest in Java role. So again, but okay, maybe it's not me who wrote it correctly, especially since I'm not native English speaker. So I did it again. I wrote, I'm a recruiter, like straight away. Please help me to create a message for a candidate for a Java engineer. Now he understood me correctly. And what he wrote, like Java engineer opportunity with company name, dear candidate's name, blah, blah, blah. What's the problem with this message? Imagine that everyone used ChatGPT and everyone sends this message. Will candidate notice it? Of course not. Like all candidates will get the same message. That's the first problem. Secondly, it's really long and it cannot personalize based on candidate profile. Because when you pitch candidates, when you send emails, you need personalization based on their profiles and based on your position. And that's the core of communication, which never can be replaced by artificial intelligence. Personalization and humanity cannot be replaced. I do believe in it. And when you see someone profiles and you know your company, only you as a person can find some matching points which you can actually write to a candidate. So this message is not really bad. It's okay. Maybe some like junior recruiters can use it to learn how to write to candidates. But again, if you Google something like how to write pitching messages to candidates, you will get pretty the same example. There are a lot of such examples on the internet. So I would say artificial intelligence is just like shorter way to Google, but let's remember that I came to this result not from the first attempt. So again, maybe Google is better. What do you think actually? You can write in comments. I will be happy to read your opinion. So, and in the last, I think one of the last attempts, I decided to check if artificial intelligence at least can correct mistakes which already exist in Boolean search. And here I see some good results. For instance, artificial intelligence noticed that site is written with dot and it's incorrect, and actually made a correct format of operator site. And it can be useful because sometimes your eyes don't notice such type of mistakes, but artificial intelligence can do it. And then it wrote about quotation marks, but the problem is that we actually don't need Node, Space.js and React.js in this search at all. Why? Because React is already includes React.js. Node is already includes Node.js. So we actually need to delete Node Space.js and React Space.js from this search. We also need to delete and we actually can write Postgre in more ways, like PostgreSQL, Postgres. So at least one more word. So what we can see, still nothing what can, I would say, to make it better than search in Google, at least for recruiters. And as I mentioned before, I do believe that there is no artificial intelligence which can replace human brain. And the last what I tried to get from GPT is create questions for the interview of recruiter. I get error. I reopened window, asked again, and that's what I get. You can see here. So first of all, again, if every will reach out GPT to get interview questions, every company and each company will have the same questions. And why do we need it? You know, like every person is unique. Every company is unique. And The idea of recruitment is to help your candidates to find company which is suitable for this candidate, and he or she will be successful in this company. Same for companies, like to find candidates who are suitable for you. And if you don't have personalized questions related to your specific, how you can get these candidates? And still, let's see what type of questions. Again, you can Google these questions. If you Google like interview questions for a recruiter, you will get pretty same results. And it's very basic questions. You know, when I interview recruiters, I do ask more specific questions, like, please show me like search string on GitHub, etc. But what we can see here is very basic questions. Let's maybe try it with another position. For example, could you please create questions for the interview of Ruby engineer with DevOps experience, and let's see what we get. We are waiting a lot of times. Let me try maybe again, duplicate it and write my question here. Okay, now it's working. Can you explain the role of Ruby in DevOps and how you have used it in your previous experience? Okay, you can actually read these questions, all of them. And I think every engineering manager who interview Ruby engineers can say that some of these questions maybe can be used, but you do need questions which are relevant to your engineering environment. So my conclusion about GPT is you can use some tricks, some ideas of it, but it looks like summary of everything what Google offers you. You can ask the same question to Google and you will get pretty similar response, just like a couple of pages. At least you can see who's the author of these pages, and if you can rely on it, not just like a random GPT, artificial intelligence. And what I really wanted to say, recruitment is really hard job. And now we can see that there is no robot which can actually do recruitment job. So if you're a recruiter or sourcer, who are building Boolean search strings, who are building pipeline, please be proud of yourself because you're doing really great job, which cannot be replaced by artificial intelligence. You can use artificial intelligence sometimes to help you. I haven't found any like real advantages of it yet, but I did really basic research. You can see here, if I continue to deep into it, maybe I can find some ways of helping to recruiters. I want to be positive about it, but definitely not now. So my conclusion, GPT as any artificial intelligence is not super useful for recruiters. And what is really dangerous, if you're a junior recruiter, if you don't know all rules of Boolean search, etc., you can use incorrect strings and come to your manager saying that you don't have any candidates because you already reach out to all candidates, but in fact, you just have incorrect search query. So be careful with using automatization tools. You need to always remember that your brain is your best tool. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your attention. I hope it was useful. If you have any great cases of using GPT, please share it in comments. If you have any thoughts, any comments, any disagreements, also happy to read it. Just please stay polite and remember that we are all human and need to respect each other. So yeah, thank you to everyone and have a great day and evening, whatever you have.